just say hi in the comment section, and then I'll be able to see who's here. That'd be great. Okay. I'll just get ready. Oh, cool. I can see people have found their way or starting to find their way, which is awesome. I'm going to say hi, so I can only see like a little, I'm not that good with Facebook Live yet, and I can only see like little an eyeball of people watching, but I don't know who it is unless you say hi. I think my technology is not that good, or I'm not good at it. So say hi so I can see who you are. Oh, hi, Cinda. Cool. How's it going? Okay, so look, Cinda's here. That's good. We're going to get started. Okay, so today I was actually woken up by a rooster. And so this is why I picked a rooster to be the thing that we would draw today. And it went cock-a-doodle-doo, and I was like, man, that's so funny, you know? Why does it do that? So I was looking it up, and I was like, well, you know, in the morning time when the sun breaks, it knows it's got to get up and eat some worms, and that's sort of, it's routine. That's its habit that it does every day. And I was like, well, that's actually quite interesting, you know? So I picked this image, this photograph. Maitland Christensen sent it to me, which is awesome. So we're going to use that. And we're going to use the idea of, I guess, developing a creative habit. We're going to talk about that through the process as well. So to start with, I was thinking, because we've all been in lockdown and our routines have been, sort of, many of us, our routines have been slipped away, we have to make new ones. Can you tell me some positive routines that maybe you started in lockdown? So you might have started doing yoga, you might have started eating, you know, healthy foods, you might have started walking the dog, anything like that. Tell me what it is. Oh, good, Kate, you're here. That's great. So I tried this thing on Facebook where you could make this event, because I'm hoping you guys will share the fact that I'm doing these drawing sessions, and more people will come. So you've obviously figured your way in, Kate. That's really great, and hopefully it can't be too difficult. People can show up. Okay, so we're going to talk about habits, okay? And I thought, what habits do I have in my creative process of being an artist? And I was like, well, simply, just putting on my overalls is a bit of a habit. And every time I put on my overalls, I'm like saying to myself, right, time to get down to work, you know? So that's quite a funny small thing that is kind of like a bit of a habit, which is quite interesting. Okay, and what else have I got? Other habits that I do. Well, I call myself Katie Blundell Artist, and I do that because I wanted to say it lots and lots of times as a way of brainwashing myself, so that I would convince myself that I'm an artist, you know, that I feel happy in doing that. And actually, amazingly, that habit has worked, and I feel quite comfortable in my own skin with being an artist, so that's quite cool. And the other habit which I thought you might be interested in is, when I started being an artist full time, I was used to the structure of being an art teacher, you know, you have morning tea at this time and lunch at this time. And then all of a sudden I had no routine. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I set myself a creative challenge of making art, focusing on my art practice to start with for at least 40 minutes a day. And that's actually really cool. I only did it Monday to Friday because I wanted the weekend off. But that was really cool because it meant that I had committed to something. It was a bit like going to the gym. You probably don't think about making art as like going to the gym. but you've kind of got to show up before you can do anything. And the interesting thing, I'm really interested to hear about your habits or, you know, things that you're trying to do, positive things in lockdown, because interestingly, I think it takes about 3 times. It's like when you're getting hooked on a TV show. You know, you say to someone, watch this favorite show and watch it 3 times and then you'll be hooked. Well, this is the 3rd day of us doing this live drawing sessions. And I know that some of you, I think Kate at least, and maybe Lucinda, and there's a few others, I think, that maybe have done it every day. And so maybe you've got a creative habit right there. So drawing sessions, new creative habit. All right, so tell me what is a positive habit that you're doing in lockdown. I think it's nice to share with people because it is a bit of a tough time. So if we can give each other cool ideas of things that we might be able to do, it might be able to help us. So my neighbour, I think she was saying she was doing cross stitch, and that's really therapeutic and really nice. You're about to tell me all the other things that you do too. All right, we're going to move into the good light and start to do some drawing. Let me read. Good, and Chrissy are here. Thank you very much, guys. Lucinda, you've already started? Oh, sketching, that's your new thing. Hi, Nat, that's so good that you're here. Exercising is a great idea. Makes you feel better, doesn't it? That's great. Love that one, Nat. Okay, so here's our chicken. It's not really a chicken, it's a rooster. All right, I'm just going to get set up. Hopefully you've already printed off that picture. I kind of tricked you on purpose because if you printed it without changing it, would have been really little and really tiny. That was like a little test because you had a choice. You could either make it bigger or you could just leave it the same size. Either way is fine. And that's all part of your composition, I guess. Oh, I want to watch the live video, so I'm just trying to find the live video. Here we are. That's great. I'm in too. Composition, I guess. Oh, I don't want to hear myself. Sorry, team. There we go. That's no. Great. I'm in too. Oh, no sound is good. Hi, Frida. Gardening. That's a good idea, people. Awesome. And Beck, I'm pleased that you're going to show up next time. If some of you have missed the sessions earlier on in the week, I'm pretty sure that they're on my Facebook timeline. So you can go back and do some homework and catch up if you like. Okay, so we've been talking about habits, okay, and about potentially creating, you know, developing creative habits. Well, if you've shown up, then you are already developing your creative habit, which is really, really cool. We're going to talk in relationship to that about composition today, which is really, really key thing to making art. It's something that I think that you need to think quite a lot about, it's the arrangement of objects in space. So where are you going to put everything? So just like I said, the image I sent you on purpose was actually this big, little tiny one. And so if I put this little tiny image of this rooster here, then it probably would get lost in the space, unless I had some big eye concept that I wanted to do that. So that's why I made it like A4 size here, okay? And you can, if you've got a little one, you can just literally blow it up by scaling it up. That's no problem. Okay, so we're going to work the same thing again today. We're going to move this over here, the same thing as we've done on the other days, because practice makes perfect. And I'm actually going to leave all the space around the outside here. So I don't want to fill it. I don't want to make it bigger than what it is, because I like the idea of the rooster moving into the space. I think that's compositionally quite interesting. All right. So yeah, we're going to leave them like that. Okay, so we're going to follow the same process that we did. We're going to start by doing just some basic shapes to figure out where the rooster goes and what size he is. So there he is. He's this size. And look, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to put a mark there. I'm going to put a mark there. So can you do that on your page as well? And then he's kind of, it's almost like a ovally rectangle-y kind of thing. We can change that shape, but just kind of, you're putting down where you think he's going to go, and you're going to do that quite lightly. Awesome. And meditation, I haven't started that yet, but I think I should. It would be good for me, wouldn't it, guys? For us highly strung people. Okay, and we're going to do another one up here for his neck, and then another one here for his head. Okay, how's he looking? How's yours looking?
It's maybe a little bit close to the top. It's also potentially a little, I think mine's a little bit bigger than it needs to be. But shall I keep going? Maybe this angle is a bit much. And then he needs to be able to fit his tail feathers in here. Well, mine's a little bit bigger, but you know, this is really for fun, so we are just going to rock with it. Are you guys all fitting your rooster in? Okay, and we're going to figure out how big his legs are. That way, and looking at the angle of his legs. See, I'm just doing a line to where his leg's going to go, and then I'm doing his other leg as well here. All right. Okay, so how are we going? Have we all got the outside shape, just the outline of simply of your rooster? Awesome. Okay, that's great. And now we're going, because we're just going for the outline to start with, it's really important that we kind of get the outside shape of this rooster correct. If we do that, if it still looks like a rooster, we're doing pretty well. So let's start off up here at the top. We always start pretty much at the top, so it stops us from smudging. And we're just looking at this page here, and we're just following the lines. Okay, can you see that? All right, so that's the top part of his head. Does anyone know what the top part of a rooster's head is? I certainly don't, so tell us what that is. Okay, this is awesome. This is actually his beak. It's got this, it's kind of facing us. So we're going to just copy that like that. And then we go like this. All right, we're already going to have to rub some lines out. This is, we've got a rubber so we can use it, it's no problem. And then we're going to follow that neckline down here like this. And then this bit is coming down the bottom. What's that called? I think Fiona's here. You're pretty smart. What's the bottom part of a rooster's neck called? Question mark. Okay, we're still just following the outside of this rooster. Okay, it's actually quite hard for me. You got to feel sorry for me talking and drawing at the same time. So let's figure out how long that neck is. It's about there. And then we're going to change it and go like down like this. Okay, and then we're going to go up. Beautiful tail feathers. Okay, it's going to go in there. This one, oh, look, I've mucked it up. I'll have to go across down the page. So I'm going to use Creative License and bring it in a little bit. I'm over here, following the lines, down here. And here we are at the bottom. And then we've got some more feathers. Aren't they beautiful? Apparently this is a rooster from Rarotonga. It's quite a famous rooster. So it must have been like a on the tourist track kind of rooster. Okay. I might have stuffed that up a little bit. There's a lot of feathers, but we can alter it a little bit. And this is part of the time where we're talking about us as composers, as artists. We can change things a little bit if we want to. That's no problem. I've seen some great adaptions of the drawings over the last few days, and thank you so much for posting them, everybody. It's really cool, of people's takes on all the different animals. I'm going to come down here and do the leg. What happens to that foot? No idea. We'll just make that up. Okay, it needs to be skinnier at the bottom and wider at the top, so he's more elegant. There we are. Oh, it's called a comb. Is that the top bit must be the comb because it looks like a comb. Thank you, Alison. That is great. Okay, and now I'm going to come on to the second leg here. And this is the one that's basically holding the weight of the animal, so it needs to be kind of underneath him. There we are. It's good. This needs to be up a bit higher. I don't believe my own drawing. There we are. Okay, how are we going, everybody? Doing well? It is tricky because I can't actually hear what you're saying back or anything like that, so I just have to listen to what you're saying in the comments, and remembering that they are a little bit delayed. Okay. Oh, you're doing good. That's great to hear. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here. Now, does this go straight up? It does, eh? So we're just going to go straight up there. Nice. Good looking. If you've got it, flaunt it, as I say. Okay, there we go. It's actually, what do you think, guys? It's already, we're rubbing out these bits that have been our guiding lines because we don't need them anymore. So you go ahead and do that too. And I think it's a rooster. Yep. It's cool. It's cool. Now, we actually have some choices, just so we can think about this. I don't want to put the whole background in. I'm going to choose to just put in, you know, I'm an optimist, eh? So I like the idea that this rooster is coming up, waking up in the morning and just coming up here to get a snack. So I'm just going to draw in this top bit here of the greenery. So that, because why would you get up in the morning if you didn't have a coffee to get to or something to eat? Don't know. So there we go. That's his reason for getting up in the morning. Everyone needs a kind of a carrot. And then I like this idea of this uphill battle. And we're going through a battle with COVID at the moment, but we'll be fine, people. Hang on in there. We can do it. And so there we go. I'm just going to do that hill though. To get a feeling like he is actually going uphill. Okay, and all I'm doing is some lines which just insinuate that that's what's happening. Doesn't need to be very much detail. I'm also drawing this close-up stuff to create a depth of field. It's good always to have stuff in the foreground to give a sense of space in your composition. So that's what we're doing there. And for me, that's enough because I want the rooster to be the star of the show. Cool. All right. So now we've done the outlines, and that is awesome. Can anyone remember what the next step is? Or maybe you can be a show off and remember the 3 steps of the method that I have for drawing. The first one is doing the outlines. The second one is what? The third stage is what? Anyone remember that? Okay, I'm just going to start going, and then you can tell me what those are, the next 2 stages. We're going to do the eye. Quite a big eye. There we are. And we're going to do this outline here. What is this white thing? Don't know. We better draw it. Cool. There we are. And so that is that. Has anyone written, oh, shading is definitely one. Yes, Lucinda, top of the class, detail and then shading. That's right. So at the moment we are doing the detail, okay? And then later on we can do the shading. So this is the detail of the on the head here. I'm just trying to get that looking a little bit better. That's cool. So that's the head done, and then we're going to move down here and do some detailing like these lines, which are going to make up his feathers on his neck. Okay, and then this one, oh, that's going to be a lot of work in here. What are we going to do for this? Maybe we're going to do some of this sort of stuff, like they're kind of like actual feathers, aren't they? So we're going to do those. Kind of like a snake skin kind of look. Yeah, he's very good looking. All right, so we're putting those feathers in. Don't you love the way his feathers change all the way around his body? So this feather is a long one, and it has things like this coming down it. Wow, so good looking. Okay, now then we're going to go into this sort of reddy section. I noticed, by the way, that my yesterday my sheep that I drew had a seriously wonky eye, which I didn't notice at the time. But so that's why I said, you know, like it's good to have a little break and then revisit your drawing. See, I didn't have that chance, so hence I got the wonky eye sheep. But it's okay. That kind of comes up here. Yeah, maybe a little bit too. Like that. Yep. Okay, good. And then we've got the white feathers. And then this one goes down and up. And so I'm just looking at this. I'm not looking at this. I don't really care what it looks like. I'm not getting fixated on that, because that's when it gets depressing. You just look at what it is that you're looking at here. Okay, and then in the corner of your eye, you might watch your hand, what it's up to on the other side. And the more practice you have, the better we're going to get. Okay, this feather actually starts there, goes there, and this one, okay. As you can see, I'm kind of making a little bit of this up, but you know, we do that. I'm getting the feel for it. Okay, I can see that this needs to come down lower than what I did it, so I'm going to extend that, and that's as well. So that's fine, we can do that. This is why we're pressing lightly. No worries. And then this one here, there's this big, this here is big here, and it comes down here, and this comes down here. So actually quite a lot of detail in this boy. People are sending me photos. I'm going to have to look at those later. All right, I've got to stay focused. Someone wants to eat the chicken. Seriously now. Classic. I think everyone gets a little bit hungry in lockdown. It's the survivalist in us. Everything starts looking tasty, you reckon? Okay. Okay, so I think that is okay. We've got all these bits. Sometimes we actually draw the white so we know not to shade in there, because the next step is the shading. So I'm just drawing that like that, and I'll know not to shade in there. Okay, what is happening down here? We don't know. There's some black, and there's some more black. Okay, and this is a bit of black here as well. Okay, and then there's a whole lot of lines going down here to get that feeling of that neck line. Okay. Okay, and then what else do we got to do? We can put a little bit of character in by putting these little things in on his legs. It's good. There's a little bit of things on his feet. I guess that's used for grip. Don't know a lot about chickens, but you learn a lot more about animals when you draw them, which is quite fun. Okay, all right. Has everybody done, you reckon, the detail now? What do we think? It's so funny. When I'm reading the comments, I'm reading them relatively out of context, so I'm just making up this backstory. All right. Okay, so there we go. I'm trying to be looking at my bird sort of what's it called, objectively, to check that he's kind of okay. I don't think his tail feathers are big enough, and I think it's a bit too squished on the side. I would have probably, that composition is a little flawed because I didn't give it enough space on that side. He's a little bit bigger. He's bigger than he probably should have been, but that's okay. We're going to keep going. All right, so now we're going to get into the shading. Okay, so I've been using the little light, you know, 2B, but now I'm going to try and use this, maybe like a 3B, next size up. Okay, now we're going to squint our eyes, and we're just looking for the black, the grey, and the white. Now, what do you mean? Because that's colour, so that doesn't make sense, does it? But there are dark tones, and there are mid-tones, and there are light tones in this Rooster. So the dark tone is the down here, right, and here, where it's black. It's the darkest that it can be, isn't it? Okay. And then the mid-tone would be like this red and brown, okay? And a little bit lighter still is this red. And then the light would be this here, and then finally pretty much the white of the page is this here, okay? And so you can even leave those white bits white of the page, it's no problem. So we're going to start with doing the dark bits first, okay? Because that's the easy way to go, and it feels like you're making progress, okay? So to shade, all you're doing is just pushing down hard, and what I do is shade in the direction where I think it should go. So I think that that leg goes up in an angle, so if I'm shading it in that direction, it'll start looking like it works. Now this isn't really that tricky because we've done all the hard work by figuring out where everything goes. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. So if we hadn't done such a good job of figuring out where everything goes, then this can be tricky. But because we already have the structure, we've composed that, then this won't be as hard as what it could be. This can come down a little bit further. I'm still altering everything a little bit while I'm looking closely at the parts. And with the shading, remember, you can go over more than one time, so there's no rush. And then this is here, it just goes from dark to a bit lighter. Yeah. And then his leg here is quite dark in that part, and pretty dark here, and it's kind of wiggly here actually, not straight. So I'm going to put that in. There we go. We don't really want to have dark bits like that really, because when the light hits one side it's dark, and on the other side it's light, generally speaking. So things don't have, objects don't have lines around them, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. So we want to try not to have lines around our stuff. So we will blend the line in so that it goes, doesn't look like a line. Okay. Okay, so that's that dark area there, and then now we're going to do a little bit of dark area under here, because this is all this bit, and it's all dark. Super cool. We can always go back and put more dark on top. So for starters, let's just go dark on this whole area. Yeah. You can always do another layer and showing some more feather detail. Cool. And then this one, which is also dark. Now I'm going to go over again with some dark details. What is this doing here? It needs to go that way. going to shorten it a little bit so I can get my cool swish at the top. There we are. What is this bit? I think it's maybe where I changed my mind. So there's lots of decision making that happens when you're drawing. It's all part of the process. Oh, I see what I did. That is actually that, and that is that. What was I thinking? I see. Let's try that again. Okay. I make mistakes. So this comes up here and like that. Yeah, you're going to be like sitting at home going, Katie, what do you like? And that's slightly lighter, isn't it? The pressure. There we go. That makes a bit more sense. How are you going with your chicken feathers? Are they getting complicated for you too? Okay, that's that one done. Okay, so now we've got this bit here. Now, like, we can do sort of more wispy stuff here because it's relatively light. So we can just do some directional lines in there. That's fine. All right. And here is where we've got to do a bit of the mid-tone. So you're just pushing different pressure on the pencil. And then compared to, that's quite light. This is a bit darker, but it's got little white bits in there too. So we can actually, and a bit of dark bits and sort of smidgy bits in there. So we can make this a little bit darker. There we go. And does this come up here? A little bit it does. There we are. Okay, cool. And we've left some white bits in there, but you can also come back with the rubber as well and draw with the rubber if you want to as well. Okay, that's great. And now we're going to follow up here. We've got to do this part here. So again, this is more like mid-tone. It's darker in here, so we missed that bit. So we're just looking at the gray, the sort of the tone, and we're saying, is this dark or is this light? Or is this mid-tone? And so we just push with different pressures to wet, depending on what it is. Chickens are great, roosters are great, so much character, so much fun. So what is in this section here? Okay, so this is actually kind of dark part and then light part, dark part, yeah. Great. Yes, I believe he's going to be a rooster. How are your roosters looking, everybody? It's quite meditative, isn't it? Just drawing this rooster. He looks quite confident. Okay, now we're going to try and do this dark part of the head up here. And we're going to come down. It's like a great hairstyle. Got a better hairstyle than me. I'm missing not being able to go to the hairdresser. There's almost like little darker parts in this going down, and then there's that lighter stuff, and then it goes darker again. Little bits of dark. I bet you guys are doing some great chickens, great roosters. Okay, so that's pretty much the tone on the body for now. we can now, what's going on here? There's just a little bit of dark bits I'm going to put in there. One there, one there, and one there. Okay, and a bit dark here. Just trying to give it a bit of nice contrast. And we can go over this a bit too, because that's really dark. Yeah, it's dark. Okay, and now we better swap and do some work on the head. So this is not particularly dark. It actually comes up and then back and then round, but it's mid-tone-ish. And then this here is there's a bit more detail line here, and then this one we can pretty much all do a similar tone for this new word of mine, which is the comb. Nice hairdo. It's like me, I would want to be on a good day. Okay, that just made him look a bit evil, so I'm going to take that up a bit. Don't want him to look that evil. All right. He's looking not, so the eyes are really, really important. Let's have a closer look at that. Okay, so it's actually quite dark, and then it's kind of, there's no real light bits in it. Kind of mid. There we are. Okay, that's good. And now here for this, we've got to draw this down here. This white thing, we don't know what that does. Looks like it has a use. And then this dark bit is this bit here, which is underneath. And this has got to have a bit of dark on it. Okay. And then we're going to put this. This is cool, the beak, how it goes down dark in the middle part. And then it goes like a little V there. And then over here to the point, and then back up. And then this bit also we can see a little bit underneath there. Cool. What happens in here? Oh, that comes down in there as well. Got to look so closely at the detail there. There's also this underlying bit there, goes down as well. But this main bit here, we're going to shade that in now, because that we don't want to leave that the white of the page, because it's actually not. So we're just going to shade all that in. Yep, that's great. And then this bit, it can remain quite light because it is light. All right. And then is there a highlight up here on the head? Yeah, I guess so. But it kind of goes around it like that. It goes down like that. Cool. Okay. All right, how we doing? What other background detail can we do? Okay, well, that's a good point. You can just put like I was saying, rather than doing the whole lot. I mean, you could do the whole lot, but what that will mean is that the rooster will be fighting with the background, and the viewer won't really know what to look at. So what I want to focus on today is just putting the detail in here, in this little bit of grass, the green grass up here that he wants to get to. Okay, so if you've already done all the shading on the body, you can go to that, but I'm just going to spend a couple more minutes just putting some sort of detail and shading into this to make it a bit more believable. I also haven't got to the legs yet, so I'll need to do that. So I'm going to do a little bit of shading here. He's got some mud on his feet, so I'm looking at that. That's a bit darker, and this is a bit darker down here as well. But the actual part, the front part of his legs is kind of white. So we'll leave that there like that. He's definitely been busy in the mud. A little bit, like almost like a little elbow or something. And down here is a little this. Underneath there's a bit of shadow there. So we'll do that. And he looks like he's got toenails. Again, it looks a little bit darker down here, but it's light on this part here. So we'll leave that like that. So again, I'll have it a little bit darker on this side and lighter on this other side, I think, for the legs. Okay, so there we go. As far as like you were saying, Kate, I think you want to put some marks in. How about we make it look like he's going uphill with a little bit more abstract marks here, and we can just do again some line work here to show the foreground stuff. So it's almost getting a little bit abstract today, which is quite nice. We don't have to do everything the same every day. And then we're going to put in some more shading into this detail here. I don't normally, and you'll know this if you do my art classes, we don't normally make things ever that are the same as the other person's. Usually, you know, in my classes, you have a lot of creative license to do whatever it is you like. You respond to the idea or whatever. But in this project, I thought it would be easier actually if we all do the same sort of thing, because I can't see what you're doing, so it makes it harder for me to help you. So at least if you're kind of all doing the similar sort of thing, I can look at what you've done and think, oh, they might need to do a bit of work on shading, or they might find it helpful to do this or that. So I'm pleased. I think it's working okay. What do you reckon? How are you enjoying the sessions? Okay, I'm just going to rub out. Okay, now sometimes, there we go. We could say that this work is finished, but a part of me wants to kind of make a ground like he is wanting to step up. So I'm going to practice my shading like this. It's uphill because I want him to be walking uphill. And that's his, like, you know, uphill journey today. And I can rub a little bit out. Show a bit of movement. All right. Have anyone got any suggestions on my drawing? Speak now if we ever hold the piece. Are we getting faster or slower? Oh yeah, maybe we're getting faster. We're going to be like the fastest drawers in the West, as they say. Do yours look like roosters today? Yeah. It might look easy, but roosters are not necessarily easy, eh? Not necessarily easy. I'm just going to come back in now that I've just had a little moment to have a look at this, and I'm going to put a little bit of dark in here. And also you can get a bit tight, so I'm going to try and be my normal self, which is not being looked at by you guys a little bit. I'm probably much more of an expressive drawer when I'm not being watched by you guys, but I guess, you know, it's understandable if I tighten up a little bit when I'm being watched. There's bits that I will have missed, and like this. What's in there? What's in there? What's in there? So like I say, it's often really, really good to have a go at a drawing and then come back to it. But we're not doing that. We're just kind of going for it. Because then you can find all those things. They become quite clear, like my wiggly eye on my sheep. Yesterday, I was like, saw it last night, and I was like, man, that sheep has got such a wonky eye. What was I thinking? But sometimes you kind of can't see it when you're working on it. Okay, I think we're going to call it a wrap. Alison is definitely not sharing hers. Oh, come on. Where's the fun in that? You should. You should. What can I say? Oh, thank you very much for coming, everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying these sessions. Hopefully I'm starting to make a positive creative habit by you showing up every day and doing probably 40 minutes or an hour of drawing with me. Hopefully it's not too hard, and you will start to see that you're improving if you keep practicing. What you can do for me is I'd love it if you you know, like this video, like my page, share the posts, and tell your friends so that we can all enjoy doing these drawings. I'm going to do it again. What's tomorrow? Thursday, and then the final day is Friday. Maybe I'll be pro by Friday, who knows? But like I say, always open to your constructive feedback. If you want to send me some ideas through or whatever. You are all still sending me photos of animals that you want us to draw, which is cool, so you can keep doing that. Put them on the Facebook page with the in the comments section or whatever. Again, it was so fun what you did yesterday, where you put up in the comment section your drawings, because I love seeing what you've done. So please do that again. I do want to see your rooster, Alison. You're doing so well by even trying. I'm very proud of you. Okay, so thanks very much, everybody, and I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.